All right. Um, yeah, it's another request from my dad. He said that this is a song I should have wrote. Um, so this would be interesting. Let's go. Hold on, let me check. Yeah, let's go.
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away. Drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end. 'Cause the rich men, know the rich men.
Yeah, I see what my dad's saying. I should have wrote this song. Especially the old soul bit, because even to this day, still, I have my dream. Ultimately, I would love to go and live in a live in the wilderness. Basically, I would love that. Like, just to get away from everything. It's like I've even been looking up cabins in the woods for me and Nala, but it kind of puts me off it when it says the cabin has Wi-Fi. I think this is kind of like spoils the illusion of a cabin in the woods. But I'd love it. I'd love that. Like I always had that as like a fascination of mine. But yeah, this tune's fire. The words is fire. Literally every line has been great.
I wish politicians would look out for miners, and not just miners on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milking welfare. Well, God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end. 'Cause the rich men north of Richmond. I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay.
Yeah, that's a tune. That's a tune, and I think that basically the kind of essence of that song is very real. I saw someone. It is just kind of still a new. Well, I suppose it has been acted out on a small scale, but there was someone on Joe Rogan who was talking about anxiety and depression being so prominent in our culture, um, and why. And basically, the If you went to the doctors, they'd just tell you have a chemical imbalance in the brain, so you need to take this tablet, and it will. And to a certain extent, there is that to it. But this other mate, he was saying that it's not. It's not that. It's this kind of pointless. Like, most people work a job that they don't like, but they have no choice but to do it. So the majority of their time is spent doing something that they don't want to do. But it's the old thing. Who said it? That you go to work all day to pay for a house that sits empty while you earn to live in it. And yeah, that it's modern society, um, like the that 9 to 5 typical lifestyle that the majority of people live. Um, it's not good for the human. It doesn't tally up with what we are. Um, just naturally, it doesn't have no. We don't have like. And he basically said there was a town. I don't know where. I don't know where. Whether it was somewhere in Europe or somewhere. But he said they actually did a study on it. This whole area basically had just. There was nothing. The town had just basically died. There was no work. There was nothing. So they decided to give them people um, a salary, a livable salary. So like, I don't know, 15 grand a year, um, enough to kind of pay what they needed. And what they found in that small area was that anxiety and depression was the first things that dropped, and people spend more time with their families and doing, and it just, it's a better way of doing it. And because I think we are meant to be hunter gatherers. It's in us. Like, it's the same reason why people people play um people play computer games, people watch movies that either scare them or thrill them or an adventure thing. Um, there's a reason for that, because them things don't get ignited in us like in our day to day life. Um, and you think like we are basically, if you look at our technology, we have come a long way. But if you actually look at the people, then really we are not that different from 1,000 years ago. Really, we're not. We're the same thing, same emotions, same pretty much everything. But our technology has advanced, but we haven't, and we haven't adapted to that. And that's why you see more and more people wanting to do kind of things that are more natural, like hunting. Take someone like Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, one of the richest men in the world, all of that. What does he decide to do with all that money? He hunts elk. He goes out and hunts. And you can have your own opinion of hunting, but at the end of the day, that's what we're meant to do. We are hunter gatherers. It's why our eyes face that way, because we're hunters. Any hunting animal, any predator has its eyes there, because obviously the prey has it on the side, rabbits and things like that, because they can see a predator coming. But if you're a predator, you have the locked on vision that's facing forward. So we are meant to hunt, and I do think that, yeah, we kind of have replaced that um, with something that doesn't actually, because everything in our society is a long time away. I'm going to get a job and I'm going to save up, and in 5 years, 10 years, I'm going to be able to put a mortgage down on a house. Like, so you're doing this now, but there's no reward or payout really until much later on, which again doesn't work for what we are as an animal. You think if you were a hunter gatherer, you get up, you tend to your animals, you tend to your little plot of vegetables, and then you go hunting, and that's your day's work. You build your own place to live, like, and slowly over time, we've lost the ability to do that for ourselves. We are dependent now. They like governments and rich people, if you like, but it's governments really that have slowly but surely. It's like, get this, we can't have guns in this country. Fair enough. All right. I've never had a gun, don't have guns. The power of England that is still respected around the world today was pretty much given to them by longbows, by the English longbow. Like the power that the government has today in the seat of the world, basically, if you go back in time, comes from the English longbow, because they say that was the first weapon of mass destruction, and that it's why French people would, if because we was always beefing with the French, it's why the French, if they catch an English soldier, would cut the fingers off, because they knew an English archer was just a different, that was a different breed. And literally there's stories of where armies turned around and walked off when they saw the English archers. They banned the longbow. You can't have a longbow in England. And it's like, how do you say that when the reason why our government is so respected around the world, um, or our country, is because basically of the longbow and a boat, but the longbow was the start of it, and then, and they take that away from you. You're not allowed to hunt, like, and people now have completely no connection with nature. They think that that is just something that's not us, and it isn't. We are that, but we don't live in harmony with it in our society. So I think, yeah, definitely with this song, a lot of things I thought about that, especially the old soul, because I've always felt like that. I would always, like, that's why I love things like Game of Thrones. I love things like that, Vikings, and I am Viking. I have Viking blood. Um, but yeah, obviously that didn't get in my genes consensually, but I have got Viking blood, like 14%. But it's obviously from when they conquered here. But yeah, it's like slowly over time, governments have took away our ability to feed, clothe, house ourselves. You're not allowed to do that now. And not only that, now with the waters as polluted, and so you need, it's just so fucked up. It's fucked up. But that was a great song. Like I say, it made me think a lot of things in that song. And I see what my dad's saying. Yeah, it's very much in the kind of way I think of the world. Um, there's another thing Jordan Peterson says about with, like, where he's talking about when he says rich men, the most powerful jobs or most powerful positions in the world is mainly men. And why isn't, someone asked Jordan Peterson why not women? And he's like, because women are basically too smart for that. Women are smart enough to see that in order to have one of them powerful jobs, you have to give up so much of your life, and it's not worth it to them. There's other things that women are more interested in doing, and that's the reason. Like that, more than prejudice, is the reason why women don't hold them things, because they're smart enough to go, I don't want to do that. I don't want to work 20 hours a day. Like, why would I want to do that? Why would anyone want to do that? But yeah, I don't want to do it. But I would love to live in a world of back to nothing and just living off the land. I'd love it. I would love it. Go out hunting and, oh, it'd be so good. If I could do what Joe Rogan did and doesn't eat, like, 'cause he says, you go and kill a massive elk, you freeze its meat, you can live off that for a year, literally giving it away to people, and it's good meat, and it's not processed. It's not none of the shit that they put in it before it gets to a supermarket. it's really what the meat is, and all its goodness is in it. And the other thing is, if you hunt with a bow, you can't like say it's kind of that's fair. Like, I even think shooting something with a gun is kind of a bit cheating. If you have a bow like Joe Rogan, it's because Joe Rogan says you have to get nearer to the animal to kill it than when you have a gun, which gives the animal more chance. It's actually fairer to hunt with a bow because if you have to get up close and gives the animal more chance to smell you or hear you or see you and run. Um, so you got to be stealthy and yeah. And I'm not being funny. Like we have an obesity problem in on our side of the world, and um, could you imagine if all this everything just shut down tomorrow? Could you imagine how much weight would be lost if people having to actually catch their own food? Most people would die. Yeah, I loved that song. I thought that song was great. Great song. And a great kind of blending of an old kind of thing mixed with the modern world. And that's what I mean. If you take Woody Guthrie songs, they're pretty much this. Right, yeah, it's people have been feeling this way for a long time, but I think now I think there definitely is more and more of people wanting to get back to nature and get away from this shit world. I mean, it's good in the fact that you're safe. You're safer now in the Western world than you've probably ever been anywhere in the whole of human history. But what did you give up for that safety? And what's it? Who was it said that? A man who trades his freedom for security doesn't deserve either. I think that's a great quote. But anyway, that was a great song. See how much I don't know how long I've just been talking for, but a 3 minute 10-second song can make you think everything I just did. Do you know what I mean? That's the beauty of music. That really is. This is the best thing about music. But anyway, yeah, that's the reaction. Sweet.